Alright, Military Standard 457A, 1st of March 1977, superseding Military Standard 457, November 1970. Military Standards, frequency of inspection cleaning of the petroleum fuel operating and storage tanks, FSC 9130 and 9140. Military Standard 457A, March 1st, 1977, the Department of Washington, D.C., frequency of inspection, cleaning, petroleum, operating, storage tanks. Military Standard 457, the military standard is mandatory for the use of all the department agencies, the Department of Defense. Recommended corrections, additions, deletions should be addressed with the Defense Fuel Supply Center, Defense Supply Agency, Cameron Station, Alexandria, Virginia, 22314. Contents. Scope, purpose, application. 2. Reference documents, related documents. 3. Definition, operation tank, bulk storage tank, interior tank inspection, visual inspection, physical entry inspection, aviation fuels, ground marine fuels, burning fuels. 4. General requirements, general considerations. 5. Detailed requirements, aviation fuels. Option A, interior inspection. Option B, sampling testing. 5.2, ground marine fuels. 5.2.1, sampling testing. 5.3, particular matters and fuel. 6. Interior and tank inspection cleaning, aviation fuel tanks, option A, option B, ground marine fuels, records, 7.1, history cards, 8, implementation. Alright, scope. The purpose of the standard established uniform criteria for the determining of the need and for frequency of the interior inspection cleaning of the bulk fuel tanks utilized for the storage dispensing military petroleum fuels. 1.2. Application for the criteria established for the standard will apply with the fix for the petroleum tank for the U.S. military activities worldwide. The standard will also apply with the government-owned, contractor-operated, or GOKU terminals and the contractor-owned and contractor-operated tankage storage dispensing government-owned petroleum fuels. Reference documents. The notes of the following documents are part of the standard of the extending specified herein. Military specification, MIL F859, fuel oil burner. MIL F16884, fuel oil diesel marine. MIL G3056 is gasoline automotive combat. MIL G5572, gasoline aviation 8087, 100, 130, 115, 145. MIL T5624, turbine aviation grades JP and JP4 and JP5. Military Standbook 200, quality surveillance handbook of fuel lubrication related project. Federal specifications: VVF 800 fuel oil diesel, VVF 815 fuel oil burner, VVG 76 gasoline automotive, VVG 00169 gasoline automotive, low lead or unleaded. Commercial publications, American Standard Testing Methods, Part 23, AM Method, Testing Method, D270 sampling petroleum products, ATMS method, 240 part 244 method, D22716. DD2276 particle contamination aviation fuels. 3. Definition, operation tanks, a fixed tank in the system dispensing fuel directly to the military equipment. 2. The bulk storage tank, the fixed tank utilized to receive, store, issue fuel other than directly to the military equipment. 3. Interior tank and interior tank inspection, visual inspection for the interior of the tank with a manway opening with any other suitable means without actual physical entry into the tank. This type of inspection required with the fewer man hours of effort to accomplish. 3.2. Physical entry inspection. The inspection for the interior of the tank, physical entry with the tank, the preparation for the tank entry shall be required for the preparation safety inspection personnel in accordance with the existing Department of the Instruction Aviation Fuels. Term aviation applies only to the fuels conforming to the basic requirements. MIL specification, MIL T5624 turbine fuel aviation grades, JP4, JP5, MIL G5572 gasoline aviation grade 8087, 100, 130, 115, 145. Inclusion commercial type of the aircraft turbine fuel. Unconventional fuels is optional. Alright, ground marine fuels, pertaining to those conforming with the basic requirements of MIL specification, MIL F16884 and fuel oil diesel marine, MIL G3056 gasoline automotive combat types 1 and 2, VVF 800 fuel oil diesel grade, DFA, DF1, DF2, VVG 76 gasoline automotive types, premium or regular with a VVG 00169 gasoline automotive low leaded unleaded gasoline premium regular special. 3.6. Burner fuel. If the term applied with the fuels conforming with the basic requirements of the specification MIL F859 fuel oil burner and VBG 815 fuel oil burner grades 1, 2, 4, 5 light and heavy, and 6 general requirements. 4.1. General consideration. Aviation fuel tanks, one of the two options specified in paragraph 5, shall be used to determine the need for the extent of the tank cleaning, with option A is the interior inspection recurrent on a periodic basis. Option B is to determine the need for the interior inspection utilizing the product sample for testing and the data analysis techniques. Although no differentiation between the newly constructed tank with the recently cleaned tank is made, the product sampling of the testing only, the discretion of the use of the services to be accomplished at a less frequent rate than specified here during an initial 6-month period. The standard does not cover over the nor apply to the required interior inspection cleaning due to the need of the tank of the repairs because the leaks of suspected internal structural failures, tank modification, change for the product, gross fuel contamination for the outside sources. Alright, 5.1. Detailed and requirements. 5.1. Aviation fuels. 5.1.1. Option A. Interior inspection. Visual inspection. Operation of the bulk storage shall be visually inspected as defined in paragraph 3.3.1 but prescribed below. 1. Annually for the uncoated with the tank where incoming fuel does not pass through the filter separated just prior to delivery to the tank. 2 years for the uncoated tank where incoming fuel is passed through the filter separated just before the delivery into the tank. 3. Every 2 years on tanks that are coated with the incoming fuel does not pass through the filter separated just prior to delivery into the tank. 4. Every 3 years on the tank that coated with the incoming fuel passes through the filter separated just prior to the delivery into the tank. B. Physical entry inspection. Operating with a bulk storage tank as shall inspect the physical entry defined in paragraph 3.3.2. Prescribed below. Every 3 years, the uncoated tank where income fuel does not pass through the filter separated just prior to delivery in the tank. Every 4 years, though, the uncoated tank where incoming fuel is passed through the filter separated just prior to delivery into the tank. Every 4 years on the tank where it's coated with the incoming fuel does not pass through the filter separated just prior to delivery into the tank. And every 6 years to the tank which is coated with the incoming fuel passing through a filter separated just prior to delivery into the tank. 5.1.2. Option B. Sampling and testing. Operation tanks. A sample representing the product of the operating tank shall be obtained monthly basis, most frequently if necessary. If it's preferably sampled the tank and downstream with the chart side of the tank prior to any filterization action. An alternative average sample that may be taken from the tank in accordance with the ASTM method D270 with the sampling petroleum products. Particulated content with the sample should be determined with the prescribed American Society testing method D22716, particulated contamination aviation fuels. Alright, bulk storage tanks. An average sample of the product should be obtained with the accordance with the ASTM method D270 with a frequency not less than 30 days minimum with an active storage, 180 days minimum with an inactive storage, and after the tank is replenished with the pruned product, the particular content with the sample should be determined in accordance with the ASTM D method 2276. Alright, bottom sample. The bottom sample of the tank frequency is manner of the prescribed and individual service with the analysis, alleged characteristics, evidence for the other combination of the problems. 5.2. Ground marine fuels. Sample testing. The minimum sample frequency of all the ground marine fuels bulk storage operating tanks will be specified in the Military Handbook 2000, Quality Surveillance Handbook for fuels, lubricants, and related products. The frequency will be increased to cover the product replenishment and to provide increased sampling cleaning of the products. The sample shall be obtained with the prescribed ASTM method Z270 with the bulk sample for all the product tanks, in particular in the case for the residual fuels, and should be obtained with the frequency specified in each, but the service sample should be tested for the product's characteristics, which will indicate the unsatisfactory interior tank considered by the excessive rusting and sludging, deterioration, tank lining, etc. 5.3. Particulated matter and fuel. The following limitations suggested for the guide of the defensive fuel supply points. However, the specific military service requirements application to the Army, Navy, and Air Force installation will be strictly adhered to as turbine fuel 1 milligram per part 1. ABS gas 2 part milligrams part to 1, diesel fuel 8.0 milligrams to 1, interior tank inspection cleaning 6.1 aviation fuels. Option A. Operating tanks with visual inspection specified in paragraph 5.1A have revealed a deteriorating color condition with any of the nature of the tank which could affect the product or the quality of the result of the future excess. This is maintenance cost if uncorrected. The inspection may be physically entry to verify the condition of the cleaning tank of the extent of the necessary shall be accomplished. B. Bulk storage tank. The interior tank with the maintenance shall be accomplished with the extent of the necessary as indicated with the periodic inspection performed in accordance with the paragraph 1.1b. Option B. Operating bulk storage tank. The interior inspection for the operating with the bulk storage tank physical entry shall be accomplished within the elevation evaluation of the data gathered with prescribed in 5.1.2 with the reveal of the particular content with the specific product with approaching exceeds deterioration limited by the established by the individual server. This indicates more rapidly stretch out over the number of years. Other indicators which should be considered for the decision inspect the interior of the tank of the analysis bottom of the setting filters taken and specified in paragraph 5.1.2, but any of the normal operation filters separated the discretion of the individual service inspection physical entry but may be made with the bottom sample to indicate the developing a microbial problem. Cleaning with the extent necessary shall be accomplished subsequent based with the observation resulting in an interior. 613 ground marine fuel. The physical entry for the operating tank where feasible with a bulk storage tank the determined need for the extent and cleaning necessary will be accomplished with the end product. The characteristics or samples obtained with the testing specified with the paragraph 5.2.1 approach if it exceeds the deterioration limit is established in the Military Handbook 200 with the addition of the tank entry for the inspection purpose that may be accomplished at any time from the tank of the conditions evidence success for the interior rusting of the lining or deterioration possible microbial problem over the top of the bottom of the sludge creates a reasonable doubt of the ability of the tank to maintain quality and integrity of the product being stored and issued. 7. Records. History card. The activity defined in paragraph 1.2 maintain the comprehensive card history with the file applicable to each storage operating tank citing all actions taken as required in standard implementation. 8.1. Each service shall specify the option permitted by the herein and ensure the standard option selected by the implemented on all considered field operating activities and personnel preparing activity DSA PSS custodians Army ME Navy SA Air Force 04 air review activities Army CEMR Air Force 68 and Navy SA. Alright, instruction. In continuing efforts to make standardization data provided with the DBOD provides you for the submitting content suggestion and proof of the U.S. military standard documentation and value provided suggestion form attached forward within lines indicated with the tabs along with the loose edge with the do not staple the end. It's a detailed and block 5 specific problem with the role with a particular problem each with the wording with required interpretation of the bridges restrictive loose ambiguous was incapable of giving proposed word changing was elevate the problems. Entry 6 is all any of the block related to the specific problem of the document in block 7 is filled out and the acknowledgement will be mailed within 30 days to let you know the comments received and this being then considered. Note the form may not be used to request copy of the documents or nor request waiver of the deviation, clarification, specification requirements for the current contracts. Comments submitted to the form do not constitute imply authorization of waive any portion and reference document to amendment of the contract requirements. And this is the business reply commander, Defense Fuel Supply Center, Lieutenant DFSC, Cameron Station, Alexander, VA 22314. And you have a standardization document approval, which should be DD 228 or 426. Document number, document title, name of the submitting organization, type of the organization, vendor, user, manufacturer, address, problem areas, the paragraph number, the recommended wording, reason, rationale, the recommendation, remarks, name of the submitter of the work, of the telephone number, the making, mailing address, and date of submission.